I've often said that a big part of being a writer is learning how to be a writer. And I know that seems a little obvious and a bit reductive, but I hope you'll indulge me for a moment. When someone asks the question, how do I write a book? It's a very difficult question for me to provide a concrete answer because it is really different for every single one of us. The first time you sit down to write a novel, you're not just feeling your way through the story, you are also learning what specific elements help unlock that weird part of our brain that lets us sit down and create a story. Things like where you write, what tools you use, what approach you take, all of those inform the story that you're going to produce, and you're not going to get it right the first time. When I sat down to write my very first book, I spent literal weeks in a local coffee shop thinking that constant bustle of humanity, all on a quest to suckle at caffeine's dark teat, would provide a flow of inspiration, and mostly it just pissed me off. It took thousands of words and hundreds of hours of trying different things to settle on the writing routine that I have now, a routine that has now seen me through 6 drafts and 3 published books. So anyway, I'm going to change it. Look, the routine I have right now works, but I really still don't have any idea if it's the best one, and there's a part of me that's always been curious if a new piece of software or a new keyboard will unlock heretofore unplumbed depths of literary gold, and intellectually, I understand that's probably not the case, but I like experimenting. I like trying new shit. And I've always been tempted to change things up with each new novel, to try a new approach to see if that helps me write better or more. But trying something new like that with a full novel, that's a hell of a risk. That is hundreds of hours, thousands of words, and if it doesn't work, that's a massive loss. A short story, though. So, last week, I released the first of 6 short stories I'm planning on publishing over the next month. The next short story is going to be released by the end of August and will feature Tomas Greenleaf from Frostbitten. And given my curiosity about trying new methods and approaches to writing, I thought this was a much better opportunity. 8,000 words is a much different animal than 100,000, and if this teaches me a bit about how I engage with the written word, it might be worth the risk. So what are we doing? That's right, we're going longhand, people. I have decided that Visitor, the second short story released in the Eldari Archives series, will be outlined, drafted, and edited entirely by hand. And look, this is new territory for me. I've been typing every story I've ever written since my dad forced me into a typing class my freshman year of high school. I was pissed at the time, but in retrospect, he made the right call considering how much time I spend hammering away at the keyboard. I have a respectable typing speed of about 70 words per minute, and it's second nature enough that I don't really think much about that process. Longhand is not going to be easy. It's going to slow me down a lot, and to be honest, I think that's part of the appeal. I'm really curious to see what happens to my prose when I'm forced to slow down, when I can't easily highlight and delete an entire paragraph because I get a bug up my ass. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to make my wrists sore, but more and more, I'm beginning to believe that friction is an important part of the creative process. So, we're going to give this a whirl and see what happens. I'll be posting updates about this lunacy throughout, so you can follow along and watch me slowly spiral into madness. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below.